Okay, so we left it here last class. Very simple bulk volumes, as you remember. I did fix several things, like the level situations, a little bit like spread to the right and left according to the grids, etc. So in that sense, you should go to the different levels and fix that a bit, so it makes more sense. Okay. Again, all the levels I haven't renamed them, I haven't duplicated them, etc., etc. So you're supposed to do that on your own. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is a couple of levels that I'm missing. First is the basement level. It's at -14. It's not mentioned here. This is mentioned in the previous lecture that I didn't do this time. You probably have it already. And another level is going to be called top of footing. Okay, it's going to be a -14.8. So for that, you can go to any elevation, and you can just copy CO at 14 down, and you change the name. Remember that always you should use capital letters. Basement floor. Okay. Remember that if I copy a level down, it does not come as a new plan level or a view. So you go to view and you change the floor plan. I'm not going to do it now because I have to do another level. So I'm going to copy this one, CO, and it's going to be 8 inches below that. Okay. 14.8. 14.8. Okay. I'm going to rename that if we can. So here's the first step to cleaning up every elevation and section. You cannot have two levels, one on top of the other one. So I recommend that you select one of the levels, and you see that mark is the break line. You click that, and you organize the lines properly, so they're not one on top of the other. Okay. The way I broke the level here, the same exact way should happen if you need to do it again in other levels. Okay. Now see how this one is a blue level and this is a black one? The blue are the levels that appear here in the floor plans, and the black ones don't. So for that, again, you go to plan view, under view, floor plans. You select those two and you say okay, so they appear there. Okay. I'm going to go back again to the level, double click, and I'm going to change the level name to top of footing. Say yes, and there we have it. Okay. So the footing will be underneath this layer. The slab will be underneath the basement floor level. Okay. Good. That was easy. From your elevation view, extend the grids below the level. I think I did actually last class. So what I'm trying to say is that these grids should be expanding beyond the top of the footing level, so they clearly are overpassing them. That should happen for both north and south and east and west equally. So if you select one grid line, you can extend all of them because they have a 3D link connection. Okay. Good. This is another reminder that you can propagate your grids. So you can select in plan all the grids by filtering out the rest of the ingredients that you select, and you can say propagate to the view. You don't have to do this. At this point, I think you have done a better job organizing your different levels in grids. So sometimes you need to propagate, and I will do it more smartly in the next step. Okay. So we're going to go to level 1, and we're going to create a structural wall. We're going to do a level 1, and we're going to do the wall a slightly different way, basically from the level 1 down to top of footing. Okay. It's just going to be a wall structural, a 12-inch concrete foundation wall, and it's going to go depth instead of height to top of footing. Okay. We'll see how finished face exterior and all this is very easy to set. So we're going to go to level 1, which is first floor. Okay, we're going to create a structural wall. You can go to structure and say structural here, or you can go to architecture and say structural. It's the same thing. So I'm saying wall structural. I think this is finished face exterior, but let's double check. Finished face exterior. we say depth, you see. In this case, we're selecting first the top constraint and it's going to the bottom constraint. Okay, and it says here unconnected. No, we want it to be top of footing. Okay, let's see. And it says snap to all corners for G8 16A. Okay, the type is 12 inches. This is 8, so we need a foundation 12 inches concrete. Also rectangle type. And last, for the atrium, we're going to go snap into the green line, which is the wall corners. So I'm going to go there to the green line, snap there. You see how you don't see anything? You don't freak out at this point, because what we're doing is something weird. We're in level 1 drawing a wall that goes to top of the footing, which is underneath. So whatever we create here, we're not going to see. Okay, and that's gonna, and Revit is going to remind us of that. None of the created elements are visible in this floor plan. So why would I do it there? Just because sometimes it's good to use also the depth option. Okay, let's go to the 3D to see what happened. I created this basement wall, structural wall, from this level down. That's why I didn't see it as I created. Okay, again level 1, and I'm going to do the other wall the same way, and this time it's going to be also to level 1, top of footing, and we're going to do a base offset 0, top constraint, but we're going to have an offset of the grid of 1 and 10 inches. Okay, so let's do it. Wall, structural, 12 concrete. In this case, we're going to say finished face exterior as well, as it is. Depth to top of footing. And now we snap to the grid, but we're going to set an offset of 1 inch, 1 foot and 10 inches. Okay, that is set actually here. No, 1, 10. Now we draw from the grid, not from the green line. Up, we don't draw a line, we do a rectangle. Double check that everything's okay, and you draw it. Again, I don't see it, but actually I'm creating it underneath right there. Okay, next we're going to do another foundation. In this case, 17 inches concrete foundation wall, and we don't have this one, doesn't exist. And this is the first time that we actually duplicate a type. Okay, so for that, let's go to level 1 again. We're going to say wall structural, and we don't want the 12, we want a 17, and I cannot find 17 here. So we need to say edit type. We need to say duplicate. Automatically adds a number 2 that we normally do not want. We want to rename things properly. Foundation 17 inches. Say OK. This name changes, but we have to change something within the type. We just say OK, we only would have changed the title. So we need to say here in structure, edit, and change this to be 5, no? To make it 17 entirely. Say OK. Now we're drawing a 17 inches concrete. It's going to be rectangle. Let's double check the rest. Snap to wall corners. These are the green lines. It's going to do 17 down to top of footing. I'm going to disregard this actually because I think it doesn't make much sense. The 1/4 of an inch. But if you want, it will be minus 1/4 of an inch here. I think it's not that important. Actually, let's do it. Why not? 0, 1/4, and then a negative in front. So it's minus. Okay. Again, depth, top of footing from level 1 where I am, and I'm going to snap in this case to the exterior. Okay, rectangle down to the exterior there. Again, it's being drawn underneath, so it says, hey, you don't see it, it's fine. You escape 3D, and this is what we have created. 3 basement structural walls. 2 of them here in the front, rectangulars, are 12 inches from level 1 to top of the footing. The other one, though, is 17 inches, also from level 1 to top of the footing. Okay. I didn't mention before, but I recommend that you save as every once in a while project, so you don't get surprised that things crash normally in Revit. So be careful with that. Okay. Let's move on. This is a reminder I want to talk about right after the recording is done. It's the idea of visibility. Okay, we can change the way we see things anytime we want, and in 2 different ways. One, the view range. Again, I will explain it in a second, and the underlay. Okay, for example, regarding the underlay, if I go to first floor composite, I would like to see the top of the footing layer or plan here at the same time. So without selecting anything, you can go down and check on underlay. Here is, and say, hey, I want to see top of footing. Say apply, and you see the top of footing there. Okay, I don't know if you see it's a little like there, the gray lines. Normally the underlay is very good to work with, but never to have underlay on in a view that you're printing. Okay, rarely it's actually welcome in a final drawing. So I always remember to get rid of the underlay afterwards. Work with it, but then get rid of it. Okay, I'm going to create very fast a couple of more 17 inches here. So I'm going to say actually 12 inches. So wall structural. I'll change it to 12. I'm going to do depth top of footing. That's good. I'm going to do a 110 distance finished face exterior to connect the atrium with the lab. So I'm going to draw following this level. Got it. And following this level as well. I'm pressing spacebar, even though I don't see it. I know that it's been drawn offset up there. I'm done. Let me go to top of the footing now, so you will see actually what happened there. And I could have done it here, by the way. This is not linked. There we go. Neither this one. It's very easy to extend walls by clicking on the wall. Let me go back. And see that point there? You can move it and drag it until it meets the wall. It automatically solves that connection. Okay. If, for example, in this case, I have the wall outwards from the level and I want this one also outwards, I can select this one and actually say mirror. Do not copy and click that level so it goes to the other side automatically. 3D, this is what I did. 2 12-inch concrete walls, foundation structural walls. They go from level 1 to top of the footing, and they're offset 1 and 10, 1 foot 10 inches from the level, from the grid, sorry. So if I do this, you should have that state there, okay?